Hi, welcome back to another show. My name is Jeetu Jason, and you're watching Impact India. What is the difference between communism, socialism, and capitalism? In one sentence, if I had to describe communism, that would be to each according to his need. So it doesn't matter whether you work hard or lazily or procrastinate, whatever your need is, it would be met by the state. If everybody gets the same amount of bread, everybody gets the same amount of housing, uh, all kinds of things are rationed. So it doesn't matter whether you become a doctor or a laborer or just a bum on a couch. It doesn't matter. So there is no incentive to actually perform better if you're going to get paid according to your need, not according to whatever you do. Uh, Now, there has been no instance or time when communism has been effectively implemented anywhere on earth. In order to reach that state, you need an intermediary step, which is called as socialism. Socialism, in one sentence, would be to each according to his ability. So, which means if you're a doctor or an engineer, you would get paid more, and if you're a laborer, you would get paid less. But even in this system, there is no incentive to produce a better result or contribute more. If you're a doctor, you're not going to get paid more if you have a breakthrough. Each is paid according to their ability, not their contribution. This disincentivizes breakthroughs or moonshots or any extraordinary achievement by anyone. If it happens, it will be an accident, but the incentive isn't there to outperform your colleagues because you're not going to get paid more for your extraordinary contributions. Capitalism, on the other hand, in one sentence, is to each according to his contribution or results. The better the result, the more you get paid. So if your results are exponentially higher than most other people, then you will have more wealth, exponentially more wealth than other people. So this is the main difference between capitalism, socialism, and communism. Communism is according to their needs, socialism is according to their ability, and capitalism is according to their contribution or result. So capitalism incentivizes extraordinary output more so than socialism and communism. This is something that left-wingers usually are unable to wrap their heads around. They don't understand this basic incentive structure that if you take out the incentive to do moonshots or breakthrough results, then there won't be any. That is why Russia or Soviet Union and China did not perform very well. Wherever you try communism or socialism, it kind of doesn't work because that you take away the incentive for people to do extraordinary work. Extraordinary work is no longer done in communism or socialism because people are paid according to their needs or abilities, not results. So if you're completely detached or untangled from the results that you create, then and if someone creates an extraordinary result, they're not going to bear the fruits of that extraordinary result. They will only get paid as much as their colleagues do. There'll be equality in outcome, forced equality in outcome, even if you produce extraordinary outcome. So it doesn't matter what output you produce, what your contribution is, what the results are. You'll be paid according to your class under socialism, and under communism you're paid according to your need. It doesn't even matter like whether you're a doctor or a laborer. So this is the fundamental difference, and it's not too complicated to understand. I don't understand why the left wing doesn't understand this. It's a very simple thing. Free enterprise is a mechanism or an incentive structure that rewards results, not abilities or the fact that you exist on this planet. So that is my opinion, and this is not something that I came up with. This is something that has been debated, uh, vigorously. That sounds wrong. this this has been debated vehemently for years and decades at this point, and the results are out. Berlin was divided into East and West Berlin. We tried an experiment, the same race, same genetics, same everything, but two different economic model. Uh, the Soviet communism or socialism, whatever you want to call that, and Western capitalism. The Western capitalism clearly performed better. Life expectancy was better in West Germany than in East Germany. And when the Berlin Wall fell, life expectancy rose up to the same standard as West Berlin because capitalism took over East Germany. So that is not that complicated to understand, But left wingers are a weird kind of species. At this point, I think, there is some kind of a speciation happening here. But in humans, the left wing versus right wing, the left wing is completely incompetent and incapable of understanding basic incentive structures like this. And even if you explain it to them, they are unwilling to admit it because they reason from a false axiom. And that false axiom is equality. They think that people are equal. This is where their line of reasoning goes wrong. If everybody's equal, why should one get paid more than the other? That is the obvious rational question to ask. And the reason why they ask that question or want to have some kind of equality among people is because their fundamental axiom is wrong. The axiom being people are equal. But that's not true at all. People are not equal. Countries are not equal. Races are not equal. Cultures are not equal. Even identical twins are not equal in their output or contribution or results. At one point, one twin is obviously better at something, slightly better at something than the other. There's always an inequality in nature. Perfect equality doesn't exist among creatures. Maybe among atoms, yes, sure, a hydrogen atom might be exactly the same as the other one. But among creatures, that's not the case. They go wrong at this one point. The axiom itself is wrong, and then they reason up from there. So everything that they reason up from a false axiom will obviously be bullshit. That's why the left wing is a problem that the right wing has to deal. Now, the problem with right wing is that they don't understand what is going on. The right wing, pretty much in every country, is uh, sleeping at the wheel. They don't understand the nature of their enemy or the beast that they are dealing with, which is the left wing, which has a false axiom, and then they are reasoning up from there. It's all about emotion. They don't care what the reality of things are like. They care about how it feels. Does it feel right? Then they go for it. If it feels wrong, then they don't want that. So anyway, that is my opinion, my take on this. If you like my opinion, my point of view, my explanation, consider subscribing, follow me, and join my Telegram group. We can chat. And that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Until next time, bye.